Welcome to my channel AI Basics with AK. Today, here we are for our new episode on list operations. I know there is gap for a couple of weeks, but I promise I'll cover it up. So let's directly jump into our topic, list operations. Episode 9, list operations. In this episode, we will go through this list of operations. As the name suggests, the operations for these lists are very intuitive. Append is nothing but appending a list, maybe extending another list, maybe it is an inserting to a list, remove something from a list. Pop is also a remove. Reverse, it is something reversing a list. And finally, list comprehensions are using loops, how effectively we can write some of the loops which automatically takes directly into a list. The output of that for loop can be directed into a list. So let's jump each one of these list operations. First, it's an append. So here, if you can see from the example, here we have created an empty list with the brackets that we have learned in our previous episode. The append, it's nothing but we are trying to append to this list. So my list dot append, it means we are appending 1. In the next statement, we are trying to append 2, and in the next statement, we are appending 3. So, and then when we are printing this my list, it has appended these 3 numbers 1, 2, and 3 and stored in this variable called my list. So what does append does is that we can add an element to the end of the list. Okay, so that's how we can use an append function. So can we add something like this? This is also an append, right? We are trying to add at the end, right? But however, we cannot concatenate a list with respect to a number, which also we have seen in our previous episode. We can only add 2 lists, which is nothing but concatenation of these lists. This concatenations is also in a similar way, but however, if we have 2 lists in this fashion, okay, we cannot use append function. So to append 2 lists, we have to use extend function. So that's how it is. So if we have only a single element, it is append. If we have multiple elements, we will use extend. So this is the same function. If we do not want to use it, you can just convert into this list formats and then add it up. But these are little bit more effective functions, that the append and extend. Append, you can only append 1. Extend, it means you can extend one list to another list and concatenate those lists into creating a final list. Beautiful, isn't it? So let's jump into a next operation, which is insert and remove. Insert, if you can see it out here, we have declared a list here with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then this is a statement of an insert. Insert, I'm saying 2, a. What does it mean is that you know these places, right? Here, these address places which we have discussed in string operations also. There is 0, there is 1, there is 2, 3, 4. Now when I'm saying 2a means you insert in the second place a, this a character. So automatically in the second address, this a got inserted, and then accordingly the list got modified by inserting into it. In the previous append uses appends at last. Insert, using this specific address, you can insert at a particular position. Here you can see the same example where we have inserted at starting place, that is at a 0th index, if you can see it out here. So using an insert, okay, you can append or you can add that one single element at any address position that you want. So this is what the definition of insert statement, where you can add an element at a specific position within a list. Beautiful, right? Now remove, you can just mention that, say for example, this is my list, I want to remove this A. All you have to mention that remove A, it will remove it from it. Further, I want to remove 1, it will just remove it. My new list gets stored. Automatically by using this, automatically the list gets changed, that variable gets changed. In all these things, you are not trying to create a new variable and trying to assign it. All you are trying to say is that this is my list and then specific operation. After performing this operation, the output of this operation is getting modified into this list automatically. In all these, like append and extend and even insert and remove and further places, automatically the updated operation is stored into this original list, in this original list. So going back into the definition of remove is just removes that specific element that you mention here. Okay, beautiful, right? So far append, it's appends element at the end of the list, while insert, you can specify at a specific position or an address level for inserting it. Extend, you can extend multiple elements using a list. Append together, whereas remove, you can specify that particular element what needs to be removed. Beautiful, right? That's it. This is the final slide, very quick one. Now what does pop does? Pop is very beautiful. So what does pop does? Let's see by an example. So here we have declared a list 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. When we use my list.pop, what does it mean is that it removes this last element. So when you print my list, automatically you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4 got only stored, whereas 5, which is the popped element, got removed. So you can always extract the last element, that is by using mylist.pop, and then you can also store it out just for reference sake, especially when you're doing larger operations, when you want to compare those what's getting removed as a debug purpose. So when you do again mylist.pop, automatically the last element, that is 4, gets removed and it gets stored here. So that's how you can actually remove the last elements whenever you need it. So how this is relevant? Especially this is relevant when you have a larger list and you want to use the list operations in a reverse order and do perform operations and automatically remove that final element of the list. So this is very useful when you are using loops inside an operation. So coming to the reverse is just reversing a list. You just mention 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and then you use mylist.reverse. Automatically the mylist gets stored with a reverse order with 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Beautiful, right? When we have a sequence of numbers as shown here, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90, and you use length, since there are 9 here, you can say that there are 9 list elements. Min, you have the minimum element number is 10 and the maximum is 90. Beautiful, right? And finally, this is most beautiful, which I like it, which will also go through all these list of examples also in our demo session. So that's why I have kept this session very compact, such that we can also just do a longer demo session for this episode. Here we can see that the list comprehensions is nothing but it offers an elegant way to create list based using iteration objects. How we can see it out here? Say for example, you want to create a list by using an append statement like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually when we have learned in our loop statements, you have to declare first an empty list. For that empty list, you have to start appending that list and then using this for loop, and then you can print this list. So in this way, you are storing a my list using this range that is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a list format. You can also do this especially using a list comprehension. So here you can see that the same statement for range in 5 gets moved here, which is the first statement, this statement here. Whatever here that we have kept here, that we have moved it to here, and we have kept everything in a list here. Automatically what happens is that after each and every iterations, this list gets automatic append thing will happen, and then the final output will get stored in this my list. So this is especially useful when you want to create some compact and concise operations. Of course, it has a RAM issue as well, because it has to store everything in RAM and then store it in my list. Here every operation automatically it gets stored in my list. So whenever you have a bigger operations, you can use in this format. You have a shorter operations, you want to concise and write beautiful statements, you can use this. That's it. Very compact, right? But these are all very powerful and very useful statements when we write beautiful functions, especially append, insert, and list comprehensions. All these are actually very beautiful statements so far that I have come across. As usual, if you want to practice the same thing, same examples, you can click on this My Collab link. You can see all these examples, and then you can start practicing it and start writing by connecting, just by clicking connect to it. Okay, beautiful, right? So before jumping to our demo session, let me just quickly run through the homework. For today's homework, we have 2 questions. The first question is very simple. Here what I'm trying to say is that you create a list with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and perform these 2 operations by appending a number 6 at the last, and try to use pop method and try to return both what is getting popped out and also the final list. Already we have discussed the same examples, but however it's just for practice. Also, as a second question, what I'm trying to say is that create an element 1, 2, 3 as in one list, and create another list 4, 5, 6. Try to use extend method to concatenate those 2 lists. Now using these final list, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, try to perform list comprehensions by squaring those numbers. It means 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, and 6 square. After you do all these things, either in Python file or in Jupyter Notebook, whatever it is, it can be GitHub link or Google Drive link, whatever it is, just copy paste your link here, okay, such that I can see your results and start commenting on it. See you in the demo. Catch you there. Let's practice what we have learned in our slides. So first, let's declare a list with some empty values. So here on the right hand side, you can see a list 1 is created and it's an empty list. Now to this list, let's try to add some values. So how can you add a list in this fashion? You can add using another list, say 1, 2, and 3, and you can assign this to your list. So here you can see that a list has been created with values 1, 2, and 3. Say for example, to this list you want to add an element 4 to this. So we can use an append function, which you have seen it in the drop down, and then we can append 4. So here automatically a 4 got appended. Let's append one more. Say character A. So here you can see that an A character also got appended at the end. Say for example, we want to clear this list and create another list of alphabets. Let's do that. List one dot clear. Now this list got cleared. Let's create another list and let's create an alphabets. So B, D, and F. Here you can see that on the right hand side, 3 characters got created in my list variable, and those 3 characters are B, D, and F. Now let's say we want, so what are the alphabets that are missing? A, C, and E. So we cannot use append, right? Because these are in between characters between A, C, and D. Say for example, if we use append like above and then say add character A, it will add at the end, right? But however, we don't want it. We wanted the A to be added at the beginning, for which the right command is insert. Where you want to insert, it is in the 0th address. So the address is 0, and what you want to insert? Character A. Automatically the A got appended here at the beginning of the list. Similarly, let's insert my list. Now since this C is no more in second one, here we have to see the updated list. This is 0th address, this is first address. So we have to insert C in the second address. So we have to insert in second address and it's C. Now you can see that the C also got inserted. Now this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth address, let's insert E. Underscore list dot insert 3, comma E. Now you can see that now my first 6 alphabets got created. First we have created just a simple list with B, D, and F, and using appropriate index addresses, we have inserted A, C, and E at their respective locations. Now let's recreate list with next alphabets. List 1 with alphabets, say G, H, and I. You can add this lists using 2 ways. Say for example, you can just directly add it up, where A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I gets added it up. Also, you can use an extend without this statement. So I have removed that assignment, so that's why you will not see GHI. Now after adding extend statement, you will see that automatically the G, H, and I got added. Now let's remove last element of it. So how do you do that? My list dot pop. So my underscore list pop. Automatically the I got removed. So if you can see that earlier I is there, the moment I added pop, I got removed. Say for example, now I want to remove A from it. How do you do that? You just have to say my list dot remove my character A. Automatically now A also got created. Say for example, now you want to reverse this list. My underscore list dot reverse. You can see that it got reversed right now. Earlier it was B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now H, G, F, D, E, C, B. Beautiful, right? We have seen append, extend, insert, remove, pop, and reverse. Now, before closing it, this demo session, let's close with list comprehensions. There are many list comprehensions. Let's create some basic list comprehension. Now let's create an empty list again. Say mylist.clear. Automatically the mylist becomes an empty list here. Now say for example there is a sentence. I'm creating a sentence. We are learning Python to perform list comprehensions. Using this sentence, we are learning Python programming. So, say for example, if we want to split in separate words, we can use a first statement for I in sentence. Print I. Sentence dot split. Now we have captured here separate words, right? Now if we want these words in a list, automatically what you can do is that new underscore list I for I in sentence dot split. Automatically a new list got created where we have 5 different words we are learning Python. Say for example, if we want to capture different alphabets in a word, now we can use also in this manner. Say for example, in a similar way, we want to store letters of A, E, I, O, U in a separate manner. So we can use in the same fashion. Say I want to create a new underscore list one here, and in the same way I for I in letters. Automatically here you can see A, E, I, O, U got created in separate characters automatically, and then this goes stored in a list. Beautiful, right? So let's stop our demo session here, and I request you to practice these more along with our homework. See you in the next week. Please do subscribe and share your comments and your feelings. Thanks a lot.